Welcome to the Lawless Astrology channel. My name is Dabney Lawless, and I am here today to talk to you about the full moon in Aries on October 17th, 2024. It is a powerhouse full moon with a lot going on. So if that is content you're interested in, I hope you stick around. So if you are new to this channel, what we do here is we look at how the cosmos can support us down here on planet Earth. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and my whole goal is for you to have greater peace of mind, a little bit more sanity, and to make sense of the world around us using the stars and the planets. So, okay, so let's start out here. We got a lot to talk about. So, this is really a crisis point. We are at a point where trauma, anger, emotions are going to burst forth. So there's something I'm going to say about this both individually and how we handle it. And then I'm going to give some more information from a collective standpoint. So, okay. Let me get the boring astrology piece out of the way so you guys know what I'm talking about, but know that I will break it down for you, okay? So we have an Aries full moon, which means the moon is in Aries and it is opposing a Libra sun, all right? It is conjunct Chiron in Aries, so that has a lot to do with healing. So not only is this about like exercising and facing our demons, but it's about healing them, okay? So this is the very explosive part, is there is a T-square. So we are actually, this full moon is squaring Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn at the 29th degree. And it is also squaring Cancer, Mars in Cancer at the 22nd degree. So a lot going on. We do have Jupiter also trining the sun. So that's the little bit of the silver lining that we'll talk about. Okay. So why do I say that this is intense and, potentially can bring up old wounds and trauma and anger? Okay. If we understand what anger is fear. Fear is a very healthy, normal emotion that every single human feels. So Aries is all about finding courage. That is the high side of Aries. But in order to find courage, you have to acknowledge your fear. And that is a big theme right now, because I think there is a lot of fear. Fear individually, fear collectively. We're facing a lot of unknowns right now. And then we have this incredibly powerful full moon come along and really flip the lid off of our emotions and our wounds and our pain and kind of just poke us when we're down, right? So I'm doing readings for people and we're all in this sort of I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I'm just trucking along. Well, this full moon is all about saying no more trucking along. You have to deal with what's really underneath the surface. You have to deal with your resentments. You have to deal with your anger. You have to deal with the fact that you haven't always looked out for yourself. Sometimes you play small. Sometimes you do what other people want you to do just to get along because you want them to like you. Sometimes you overgive. So whatever that is for you, where you have not lived your truth, where you have not lived boldly and courageously because there is a fear, well, we have got a really good opportunity right now to confront that fear and to release it and to move forward in a healthier way. So I know a lot of people that have said, it just is such scary times. I'm just so angry. Or these are really scary times. I feel really depressed. It's all the same thing. That fear needs to be addressed head on. So where did the fear come from? So this Aries and Libra and Capricorn and Mars are all cardinal signs. And the Capricorn and Cancer I said Mars, I meant Cancer. The Capricorn and the Cancer. So Capricorn, Pluto, Mars, Cancer, very last degree of Capricorn, right? That is the axis of protection, where we were nurtured as a child by our mother and father. Nurtured, Cancer, protected, Capricorn. That's that axis, that polarity. Now, that's more traditional reading, and it doesn't always have to be literally the mother and the father, but it definitely symbolically is that. So that is why this Capricorn Pluto, since 2008, has been so incredibly stressful. It's in a cardinal sign, which is like, I'm getting things done. We are going to make some things happen. Just like when Pluto was in Cancer, was during the Great Depression, beginning of World War II. That one was getting some stuff done too. Painful stuff. Just like it's been very painful right now. It's been very painful to see that the people who are supposed to be protecting us and leading us and caring for us have been letting us down. So this can also be in your own life. Where were you let down by your parents? Where were they unable to care for you and protect you and provide for you? Where could they not nurture you in a healthy way? So when we have this trauma, whether it's conscious or not, when we aren't taken care of the way that maybe we needed to be taken care of, we have a wound, we have pain. So that Cancer Mars has to do with our raw emotions, and it is ready to kind of come forth and tell it like it is. And Pluto in Capricorn really wants to transform things. That's the catalyst. That's the crisis point. That's the transformation where it's like, this is no longer sustainable. So we look at where we were wounded in our childhood, because we have this polarity of the Cancer mother and the father Capricorn, but we also have Chiron in the mix. So Chiron, something hurt us. So maybe it wasn't your parents. Maybe you were humiliated at school. Maybe you were an outsider. Maybe you were bullied. Lots of different permutations of where we are often hurt as children, right? It is more perilous than people remember sometimes. So this full moon in Aries next to Chiron is saying it is time to recognize where we have fear because we were hurt. It's legitimate. You were hurt. But that's the past. Moon is the past. Chiron is the past. So this is about healing the past so you can move forward in a saner, healthier way. That's really what this moon is all about, this full moon. It is about release, and we have a great opportunity here to take a deep breath and to check in with ourselves and recognize that anger and frustration and high emotions and our life may be crumbling around us. I mean, I know there are people who are digging out from hurricanes, right? Like there's stuff going on. There's wars. There's, being gaslit on a daily basis by the media. I mean, there's so much stress and strife. But we don't have to be fearful. We are being told that this is the time to release those fears. And those deeply rooted emotional fears that we experienced as children are in the past. So it is a beautiful time to step into our future. It feels uncomfortable. We may have been taught that it's our job to be the one that makes everything okay in the family. We may have been taught that if you talk too much, or if you're too big or bold or loud, well, then you are bossy, or you are causing problems for the family. Or, you may have had to keep yourself small and get along so you could avoid attracting attention because there was violence in the family or there was sexual abuse. Like there's different permutations and there's different things that hurt people. But I've yet to find someone who hasn't been severely wounded by something. And so this is a time of healing. Sometimes we need things to explode. And it's like the Tower card in the tarot. Like everything needs to fall apart before we can kind of begin to pick up the pieces. Because before then, it just was a house of cards. There's just nothing there to like keep it all together. So this is about reclaiming your autonomy, your power, your purpose. Where have you been hurt? How can you let that go? How can you step into a more confident and directed way of being that has everything to do with your individual purpose? These wounds are not unique to you in a lot of ways. Everybody has a wound, right? So the good news is, here's the silver lining piece I had talked about. Jupiter is going to be trining the sun. So Jupiter's in Gemini and the sun is in Libra. So ideas are going to be bubbling forth. So how can we, in a constructive way, deal with this kind of powerhouse emotional time? One, recognize that this moon offers a gift of releasing old, buried, toxic anger and things that no longer serve us. So like if you think about the lid being flipped off, feel it, acknowledge it. Don't react in a way that you will regret. So that's where the deep breaths kind of come in. But see it and say, oh, wow, that is a fear that I've had. I am so afraid that narcissistic baboon is going to win again. Because it reminds me so much of my narcissistically dominated childhood. Obviously, I'm using my own example. But I learned how to take care of other people so I would be of value to them, whatever your story is. Now is the time to realize that's the past. I don't live with the narcissist anymore. I've stepped into my future. It's not even stepping. I stepped into my future. So why am I still holding myself back in some ways? Why do I apologize when I don't mean it? Out of habit? Patterns? Moon, Chiron are patterns. Things that we do over and over again that are not serving us because we're wounded. So now I get to be a grown-up and how I can help other people. I've chosen astrology. But how do you choose to help other people? How do you choose to step into your personal power so you can feel confident and deal with the wounds of the past? So being very conscious about this material is important this week. Stepping into your own power, speaking your truth, all of that is good. Don't be reactionary. Don't do anything that you're going to regret, but move. It's in Aries. Aries is all about movement. So jump up and down. If you are not able to jump up and down, shake your hands. Just anything you need to do to get out the energy. Dance, run, jumping jacks. It's about shaking up the energy. That's going to be really healthy. We're moving energy because trapped energy is what's going to explode. So just jump up and down, get it going. Write down places, Jupiter and Gemini, write down places you've been wounded in the past that you're ready to let go of. Let it go. Easier said than done, but there's a portal opening right now where you have an opportunity to let go of the past. That's what this is about. It is all about letting go of the past and recognizing that you are in the present. And in this moment, what does your life look like? How can you be confident and safe and secure and feel like the warrior that you truly are, not trapped in fear? Where can you own your own courage? And then with Chiron, there's a gift. You have a gift to give someone else. And if you get rid of this Pluto toxic material that's been holding you back, you're going to be a lot saner. So let's look at it from a collective standpoint. Collectively, everybody's going through this. So imagine a world where we are all feeling high, intense emotions and anger and old wounds and traumas boiling up to the surface. Well, you might have some wars because people are not as conscious as potentially the people watching this video who are into astrology and self-improvement and psychology and things that we work through our traumas, right? Like most people that are attracted to these kind of videos have done a lot of work on themselves. So you can handle this in a conscious way. You can reap the benefits, but collectively, we're dealing with billions of people on this earth, and we're dealing with some leaders who are incredibly unconscious. So I want to give credit to astrocartography with Helena, because I watched a little short shit about how this moon is, if you pull up the astrocartography of the United States chart, it goes right through Washington, D.C., this moon. So I found that to be incredibly interesting, and it tells me once again that we need to be prepared for some volatility. So volatility, potentially violence, potentially attacks. I can't say in which direction, to be honest with you, because this full moon chart is very much impacting both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's charts. So it is impacting both charts. It is making powerful aspects to the United States chart. So there is definitely a story here. With Pluto in Capricorn at the 29th degree, we are once again back in that Pluto, the United States Pluto return. This is the very last little gasp of it. And we have to remember that the United States Constitution, when it was written and created, it was created by people that were founding fathers. It was a patriarchy, and it was written in such a way that the landed gentry were the only ones with power. So we may love the Constitution, but it needed to evolve, maybe a little faster than it has, because it was not about women or slaves or immigrants, even though they were all immigrants. It was about landed gentry, white men. And we have been dealing with a lot of the fallout and the toxicity and the things that are no longer serving our country as a result of some of that. And that means I love our Constitution. I think it was brilliant, and I think that every country in the entire world has issues. So don't get me wrong, but we are going through our Pluto return. So it's where we have to look at maybe where something needs to change, maybe where things hurt somebody, maybe where people in America, the United States of America, have been hurt, where women were not given their due, still fighting. People of color, immigrants, these are themes that we're having to deal with head on right now in this election. So there is something going on here that is all about, again, a catalyst, a transformation. Sometimes we need very explosive energy for us to see what needs to change. And I think that we're in that realm right now. So I cannot predict what is going to happen. I may be intuitive and an astrologer, but I can only look at patterns. I think that there is a lot of anger that is going to come to the surface in some way on this full moon or around the full moon few days. So look out for that. I also think that there is a potential escalation of the conflict or war in Israel and Gaza and the Middle East. Israel is a Libra nation. This is a Aries, Libra, full moon, so that tells me something's going on there that is going to be big. We're used to the news being insane and incredibly toxic and hard to deal with lately. Just buckle in, because I don't think that that's going to change, at least through the election and a little bit after. I think that we will start to get a reprieve once Pluto goes into Aquarius. We'll start to see some unfolding. We have been in such stuck energy and sort of repressed, feeling fear, feeling like we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to be doing a video soon about my election predictions, which I've already kind of shared where I think things are going, but I'm actually going to be really breaking it down why I think that on a mundane level. Because looking at the two individual charts it's hard to do without inserting too much of my bias. So I want to create a mundane video that looks more at the historical context and why I predict what I predict. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So anyway, this week, hang in there. Sometimes we need these intense jostling energies to get us going. If you want to do any kind of ceremony or you want to get through this time with a little more peace, and it's not really about that, but I would say a good outlet is going to be jumping up and down. Get your body moving. And like I said, if that's not available to you, shake your body in some way. Like just move energy. And then write down places that you've been hurt, not serving yourself, where something in the past has kept you small, kept it so you are not expressing the fullness of who you are and getting your due. You don't have to solve anything right now, by the way. This is not the week to solve anything. This is a good week to percolate ideas. And the energy is going to dissipate. It's going to come out explosively in some way and then dissipate, right? That's the good part. That's the catalyst. That's the change that we're hoping to make. So that change will then be let's move this direction forward. We will start to, as this energy continues to be stressful, as the planets flip over, we're going to be dealing with new things. I'm not saying all the stress is going to go away, but we're going to be moving forward. I think to me, one of the hardest parts of difficult times is when you don't have a plan of action, or you feel stuck, or you feel like everything is the same over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day, nothing gets better. So you can have stressful situations that just feel like you're stuck. But I think when the planets start to flip over and we have new energy, what I do believe is we're going to start to develop a plan. And it may still be stressful. It may still be a lot that we're, dealing with. But we're in action. We're moving forward. So I think for a long time now we have felt like I said, Groundhog Day, it's not moving forward. When is this, just nothing seems to get solved. It's the same thing over and over again. And so I, for one, am really looking forward to that energy of something new. And we'll talk about 2025 more. There's a lot of potential for a lot of exciting things. And there's a lot of things where we can get scared and fearful. That's not today. Today, we are going to work on this moon in Aries, conjunct Chiron, and we are just going to move our energy and we are going to set ourselves free and be saner as a result. Okay, that's my little pep talk. So, as always, there's a reason and a season for it all. And the universe is conspiring to help us. So please like and subscribe and share my video. And if this has helped you in any way, please let me know that too. Being prepared for this energy means that you will be okay because you know what's coming. So you can be very conscious in your reactions. That's my plan. I've got a plan for Thursday. So, all right. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, Stargazers. And until next time, have a good one.